how every serial killer was cool. Like, yeah, I still don't. I've heard about John Wayne Gacy so much, but I still. Oh, I've heard of John Wayne Gacy so much, but I still don't fully understand the, like, I don't want to call it lore, but like that the meaning, like who he actually was.
Discoveries in American history. In December 1978, Elizabeth Peast immediately knew something was wrong. Her 15-year-old son, Robert, had gone out to talk to a local businessman about a summer job.
Okay.
Robert never came home. The businessman's name was John Wayne Gacy. The police tracked down Gacy.
Wait, what? So he was identifying himself as a businessman?
And discovered he'd served time in Iowa for attacking a teenage boy.
Oh, well, that's a risky sign to begin with.
Missing young men in the area had last been seen heading toward Gacy or working for him. So a judge approved a search warrant.
How scattered about America was John Wayne Gacy? Was he in one location at all times, or was he like Night Stalker, where he went from like different states? And which made it way harder for him to actually get caught. But I don't actually know if John Wayne Gacy stayed in the same state or not. If he stayed in the same state, you're an idiot.
Gacy's home. Inside, detectives found clothing that didn't belong to him, identification belonging to other young men, and a strange smell seeping from the crawl space. That wasn't enough for an arrest, so they put him under 24-hour surveillance.
What?
They built their case and got...
Did they not investigate the strong smell?
What they found was horror beyond imagination. Following the smell, they looked more closely into that crawl space.
Brother,
they discovered human remains.
I think in that situation, if you find a dodgy fella with children clothes, and then you find a vent that's got some strong smelling liquid or something coming from it, you don't hold off on investigating what the strong smell is. You investigate the strong smell and go based off what's actually happening. The children clothes should be a red flag to begin with.
And more remains, and more after that.
Yo, what up, Oopsie? How you doing? Long time no see, I know.
Recovered 29 bodies.
Holy shit.
Gacy was arrested on December 22nd, 1978.
29, brother.
Though he tried to claim an alter ego named Jack had committed the crime.
Yeah, buddy.
He also later drew maps of where bodies were buried in his crawl space, numbering them like a grotesque inventory.
Oh, I actually didn't know this.
The trial was a media circus, perfect for a clown like Gacy. He was found guilty and sentenced to the ultimate punishment. Jeffrey Dahmer's reign
but where does
of
the part where he's dressed up as a clown come from? Did he generally dress up as a clown? Like, I mean, I know he did generally dress up like a clown. Of course he did. Where else are they going to get it from? But was he doing his crimes in the clown costume? Because they just said it was a businessman. They didn't say he was some sort of dodgy clown. I'm so good. It's my birthday today. Oh, happy birthday, Oopsie.
Ended
happy
not
birthday.
Through brilliant detective work, but because one man refused to have his life taken.
I think everyone knows the true story of Jeffrey Dahmer because of the series and everything.
Milwaukee, 2 police officers spotted a man running down the street with hand...
I think he's the most talked about serial killer there is today. I knew Jeffrey Dahmer before I knew Ed Gein and the others. He's just the main guy you could call. Even then, people like to say a bunch of serial killers originate from Ed Gein because of the acts he was doing. Was technically before their time and then they based it off it. I don't fully understand it. Is there a timeline to this?
Wrist. Tracy Edwards was frantic, terrified, and begging for help. He
Holy catfish? What are you on about, Woo?
Said a freak had tried to restrain him in a nearby apartment. Edwards led the officers to the location. Apartment 213. A calm, polite, blonde man answered the door.
Oh, I remember this.
He tried to explain the situation away as a...
Yeah, the police actually took the boy back to him.
Okay, fine.
Did anything happen to this police officer? Surely. So surely the police officers got fired off that.
As one officer walked toward the bedroom, he noticed a number of Polaroid photographs scattered in an open drawer. The photos showed Dahmer's victims in various stages of his crimes. Ugh. The officer froze, then said to his partner, "These are for real." Dahmer realized it was over. He tried to fight the officers, but wasn't used to attacking sober victims.
Wait, what? This wasn't in the series?
Pinned him down. This time, Dahmer was the one in handcuffs. What they found
I didn't know that. He tried to fight him.
A victim's head in the refrigerator.
Oh, shit.
3 more.
Oh, yeah, that was in the series.
Various other body parts stored in a filing cabinet. Photographs documented everything. Dahmer initially denied it all, but began confessing after several hours of interrogation once detectives confronted him with the mountain of evidence. For someone so obsessed with
I mean, there's
preserving
not a lot
things,
you can do
he
with that when
never
they have a
expected
mountain of
the
evidence.
chilling truth
Just-
would thaw
yeah.
that day. In the summer of 1985, the Night Stalker was breaking into homes in the dead of night, attacking people in their beds.
Jeff was a bit of an ugly prick, I can't lie. I kind of think Ted Bundy was an ugly guy. I think he was an ugly fella. I don't get where the handsome part of Ted Bundy was. Go back to that time, that was the regular, like, attractiveness at that time and period. Some people would find him attractive, I guess.
Random violence. The attacks had no pattern. Different neighborhoods,
But he is an
different
ugly prick.
types of victims, different methods. The randomness made him nearly impossible for police.
I know how this one got caught. I watched the Netflix, was it a show, series, documentary, whatever it was about him. The way this guy got caught is so good. You couldn't write it. You generally couldn't write it.
And the public
If it's what I'm thinking of.
to predict. Then, detectives caught a break. They spotted the same shoe print at multiple crime scenes. This confirmed they were after one attacker. Then they caught another break, this time bigger. At one crime scene, investigators found a single...
People find Ted Bundy attractive. That's crazy. Yeah, that's why he became so popular, because he was apparently this all-good-looking serial killer. People would send letters to him whilst he's in prison asking to be the mother of their children or something like that. It's crazy the more you think about it. It's genuinely crazy.
fingerprint on a car that the perpetrator had stolen. That print was matched to Richard Ramirez, a 25-year-old drifter with a record. For the first time, investigators had a face and a name. Police released Ramirez's mugshot to the media on August 30th. His photo was plastered on the front of every
1985
newspaper in California. That same morning, Ramirez was in Arizona, completely unaware he'd been identified.
I know this
back
guy
in
went
Cali.
across different
When he took
states.
a Greyhound bus back home and got
This
off
guy
in
was
East
all over
LA,
in America.
He saw his own face staring back at him from a newspaper rack. El Maton, the Spanish-language newspaper, read, "The Killer." Ramirez panicked and ran. Ramirez jumped a fence into someone's backyard and then tried to drag a woman out of her car.
Yo,
Her husband
what?
Didn't approve and went after Ramirez with a metal bar.
That's a true
He
man
ran
right there,
again.
my guy.
He tried to steal another car, but the owner grabbed him and they fought.
Brother.
Ramirez broke free and ran into a nearby neighborhood.
This guy's...
Now
I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but this guy was a shit. He didn't seem strong at all. He just seems weak as anything.
People were shouting, pointing, and chasing. El Maton ran again. More neighbors joined in the chase. One man grabbed Ramirez and held him. Others piled on, hitting him with pipes, fists.
Yo, what
whatever they
brave
had.
neighborhood
By the time
that is,
police
though.
Arrived just minutes later,
Some people
an
just stay
angry
inside their
mob
house.
Had the Night Stalker pinned to the ground. Deputies had to protect Ramirez from being torn apart.
Oh,
Save
damn.
me, save me.
Oh,
the Night
oh.
Stalker was screaming as police
Ironic.
dragged him away and put him in jail for the rest of his life. His nights
Is he
of
still
stalking
alive?
had come to an end. For years,
Is he still alive? I feel like he is. No. He died in 2013. 7th of June 2013. I thought he was still alive, to be honest. Okay.
Aileen Wuornos trusted no one until she trusted the wrong person, and that mistake was what finally brought her down. In 1990, bodies kept appearing along Florida highways. 6 middle-aged men, all taken out with a .22, all found in the woods.
It's the
Their
pattern.
cars
Stop
gone,
using the
their
same
wallets empty.
Why am I giving
Then
tips?
Investigators got the
But it all comes down to a pattern. I just find it funny how people don't learn. I'm not trying to influence anything at all, obviously, but I'm just
they
going to stop
needed.
talking.
Police found the car of one of the victims wrecked and abandoned, with a fingerprint on the wheel and a palm print inside. The prints led them to Aileen Wuornos, a 34-year-old pleasure worker, and
What?
her trusted friend, Tyria Moore. Then came another break. Detectives noticed something odd when looking into pawn shop records. Florida law required thumbprints for every transaction. The items belonging to victims kept showing up, pawned by 2 women using fake names.
I feel like shops need to start imprinting, or what's the word I'm looking for? We'll go imprinting. Start imprinting fingerprints a lot more. That'd be so good. your shop gets robbed or you need to track someone, like in this prime example, you just track them like that because you have their fingerprint. You have all their information on one little fingerprint that was made 2 years ago in a random corner shop. You know what I mean? It would change. I think, bro, why have we not like, jumped on this a lot more than we needed to?
But the thumbprints required for pawn shop transactions, those were real. The prints led them to Aileen Wuornos.
Exactly.
Moore, terrified she'd go to prison for something she didn't do, and overwhelmed by the whole situation, eventually agreed to cooperate with the police. She called Aileen repeatedly, asking her to come clean. Each call was recorded. Then, finally, on January 9th, 1991, after days of emotional pressure, Wuornos broke. She told Moore she would confess so Moore wouldn't be blamed. Hours later, police arrested Wuornos at the Last Resort Bar in Volusia County.
Whoa, what a place.
Resist or try to run. She simply said she was ready to talk.
Do you know what that is? Guilt. Guilt right there. Guilt written all over her face. It will catch up to you. It will, no matter who you are.
Describing what happened during each encounter in startling detail, talking herself right into a jail cell.
Guilt.
Bundy started appearing
it would
in
kill
1982 along the Green River near Seattle. By 1984, the count was over a dozen.
Jesus Christ.
Police knew they had a serial offender.
I actually don't know this one.
Hundreds of men, but no solid leads, no witnesses, nothing. But one name kept coming back: Gary Ridgway. Ridgway seemed ordinary, quiet, married, the kind of man neighbors waved to without thinking twice. When investigators first spoke with him in 1983, he played the part perfectly. Polite, calm, even helpful. He even agreed to take a polygraph, passed it, and walked away. But the Green River Task Force didn't forget him. Years passed. Then, in the early 2000s...
Doesn't a lie detector go based off your heart rate and all that? I swear... I stand 50-50 with lie detectors because they go based off your heart rate. But if the room is a very nerve-wracking room, or if you're just in like, bloody hell, I can't get my words out. If you're in like a very intense room situation, your heart rate's naturally going to increase because you're just like, all eyes are on you. You could be guilty for this one crime. You don't want the lie detector to turn around and lie and say that you've done this certain crime when you know full well you're fully innocent. But then there's people like Gary Ridgway, the Green River killer. Bro, it's just rigged. In my opinion, it's rigged.
Thousands. Technology finally
It is,
caught
but
up.
it isn't.
DNA profiling advanced enough for cold cases to be retested. So the Washington State Crime Lab took evidence from several Green River victims and ran it through new DNA analysis. The results pointed straight to one man, Gary Ridgway. On November 30th, 2001, detectives pulled Ridgway over outside the truck plant where he worked. He didn't run, fight, or even look surprised. When asked if he knew why he was being arrested, Ridgway simply said, "You got me for the girls." Forensic DNA linked him to 4 victims immediately.
At least he's honest. If you get caught, you may as well just come clean right there and then. There's no point in lying into your deathbed when you know for a fact you've been caught. Just give up. Give the police and the public the truth. That's it.
Fibers from...
Do you believe there's an actual serial killer in the UK pushing people in the rivers or whatever? I believe there's a serial killer everywhere. I think there's many serial killers that just haven't been caught yet. I think every day is a test to see if there's a new serial killer or not out there. We could wake up tomorrow and a serial killer could get his first victim, and it could just go from there. I think it's constantly happening, but people are just getting better at covering it up and all that. I read a fact somewhere. I don't know if it's a true fact or not, but I believe there's a serial killer in every single state in America.
His workplace.
What is classed as a serial killer? How many kills? How many victims you need? I don't know. It's just not a good title.
Connected him to others. Everything investigators spent decades chasing finally locked into
Serial
place.
killers over 3? Oh yeah. There's defo a serial killer in every single state in America. Easily.
Ridgway confessed to taking...
There could be a serial killer in every single city or town or whatever they're called in the UK.
Lives, but really his DNA had already done most of the talking. In the summer of 1977, New York was living in fear. A man calling himself the Son of Sam was moving through quiet boroughs at night. targeting couples in parked cars and leaving taunting notes for police.
What?
Detectives had almost nothing. No reliable identification and no
That's a
forensic
whole new
evidence
mind
solid
game right
enough
there,
to
Chief.
point to a suspect. But then a parking ticket changed everything.
Are you
On
serious?
July 31st, the son of Sam struck again, this time in Brooklyn. A witness had seen a creepy guy angrily ripping a parking ticket off his car just blocks from the crime days earlier. And when she heard bang bangs on the 31st...
He got caught by a parking ticket? Oh my god, that's amazing. I think that's the best capture I've seen all video.
Realized the locations matched. Her statement sent
That's
detectives
so
searching
unlucky.
traffic records for every parking ticket issued near that time and place. And they found a name. David Berkowitz. Officers quietly waited out.
He
and
looks like
found
he
a
would
name.
get caught by a parking
David
ticket. He just looks like the type of guy to just park wherever he wants and then to get a parking ticket and not be able to pay the fine.
Berkowitz. Officers quietly waited outside his apartment. When Berkowitz walked out of his building on August 10th, 1977, detectives approached with their weapons drawn. Berkowitz smirked, almost like he had been expecting it, and said, "Well, you got me. What took you so long?" Inside his car, police found a duffel bag containing a weapon, maps, and letters written in the same style as the son of Sam.
It's mad how these serial killers get a kick out of it. Like it's a giant game to them. I mean, it is a giant game to them. What, like?
Berkowitz confessed almost immediately. He claimed he was being pressured by a supernatural presence, and
brother.
a voice coming from his neighbor's dog was giving him sinister commands from the demon world.
How much of a reach do you need? Holy shit! How far of a reach do you want to take, brother? Your neighbor's dog was giving you demonic rituals to do. Stop chatting out your ass. Go to prison.
Well,
Admit your flaws. Admit you just did it because you're...
Berkowitz did later admit to making it all up to appear
Never mind, I take back
mentally
everything.
unstable.
Okay.
Woof. The
Fair
first
enough.
time Ed Kemper confessed, nobody believed him. For months in
See you later,
1972
oopsie.
and 73,
Hope you have a good
young
birthday. See you
women
later.
kept disappearing around Santa Cruz, California. Hitchhiking college students were vanishing without a trace. Despite multiple bodies being found, detectives had no suspect, no surviving victims, and no idea who the co-ed killer was. The case was going cold and investigators were grasping for leads. Then everything changed on April 23, 1973, in a way no one expected. The police received a call from a man claiming he wanted to turn himself in. The voice on the line said, "I'm Ed Kemper. I've done some terrible things." The officer on
Again,
the phone
guilt.
thought
It'll
it was a
catch up to
prank.
you.
Kemper was friendly with local cops.
If the police don't catch up to you, your guilt will, and you'll end up turning yourself in. It's a natural reaction.
He'd hung out at a police bar and talked shop with them about ongoing cases. They knew him as a big, gentle guy interested in law enforcement. They had no idea that Big Ed was the co-ed
Why do I
killer.
recognize the name? Why do
Kemper
I feel
had to
like...
call back multiple times, insisting, practically begging them to arrest him. Finally, detectives realized the truth. Kemper wasn't joking. When they finally confronted him in person, Kemper didn't resist.
Was he
Didn't
that
demand a
tall?
lawyer
I know it's a
and
stick figure, but was he that tall? How tall was he? Height 2.6 meters. How tall is that? He was 6'7". Brother. Oh, my man was tall. Oh my.
didn't try to negotiate.
Oh my
He
god.
simply described everything, step by step.
Bro's just
as if
standing
he
out
were
in the middle
waiting
of the
for
crowd.
someone to listen. And now they were all ears. Dennis Rader got away with his crimes for 31 years. Then his ego wrote a check his technology skills couldn't cash. Between 1974 and 1991, someone was terrorizing Wichita, Kansas. 10 people were gone, including 4 members of one family. The assailant sent taunting letters to police.
No, Siran, if you lick your packaging of the card, there's something wrong with you. Honestly, there's something wrong with you. Some people like the taste of it. It's disgusting. Never lick the card. Just fold it in. Like a normal person. Just fold it in. Honestly.
Papers describing his
I don't want to be
crimes
opening up a birthday card or a Christmas card with everyone's saliva on it. No, thank you.
in detail, calling himself BTK. Then, in 1991,
Is that
he
name a
just
sandwich?
stopped, went silent. The case went cold. Then suddenly in 2004, after over a decade of silence, Rader made a mistake that destroyed everything for him. It began when a local newspaper ran a story questioning whether BTK was even still alive. Rader couldn't
He
resist
vanished
the
that
attention.
much? Damn.
He took it personally, almost like a challenge. So he wrote back. He began sending packages again. Letters, puzzles, maps, souvenirs. Police couldn't track him. He was careful, cautious, and old school. He left no fingerprints, no DNA, nothing traceable. Investigators feared
he's
Wichita's
good.
most notorious predator was about to start again. Then Rader asked the question that brought him down. In one letter, he asked detectives, "Can a floppy disk be traced? Be honest." Police, desperate to keep him talking, lied and said no, it would be safe. It wasn't. I'm not sure why he would ask the people trying to put him in jail for the past 3 decades. Anyway.
Wait, was he
February
genuinely
16th,
asking that? He was genuinely asking the police for help to hide its crime. What?
2005, BTK sent
What
a
the fuck?
purple Memorex floppy disk to a local TV
No
station.
way.
The cybercrimes unit cracked
There
it
is
within
no
hours.
way.
Hidden in the disk's metadata was a name, Dennis, and a location, Christ Lutheran Church.
Are you
Park City,
serious?
Kansas. A quick search told investigators everything they
It was 2005. He could have just Googled if you can trace a floppy disk. What is, my man, what's he doing?
needed to know. The church
Sold.
council president was a man named Dennis Rader, married, 2 kids, a Boy Scout leader, completely ordinary.
Oh,
Police
Christ.
quietly began surveillance. His daughter had years earlier submitted a medical DNA sample, and investigators were able to obtain a comparison from the lab. It matched biological evidence from old BTK cases. That was it. BTK wasn't a ghost. He was the church guy down the street, and he had turned himself in with a floppy disk. On February 25, 2005, police pulled Rader over while he was heading home for lunch. When detectives arrested him for BTK, Rader sighed, paused, and said, "Oh, I guess I know why."
Brother,
Samuel
that's
Will
not
was the most
real. You're
prolific serial
lying.
Killer in American
You're
history,
lying.
and he almost got away with it. Almost. For decades, Samuel Little drifted across the country like a ghost, state to state, town to town, never staying long enough for police to connect the dots. He targeted people who lived on society's margins, and he counted on the fact that no one would link his crimes together. For nearly 40 years, that strategy worked. Everything changed in 2012, when Little was arrested on a warrant for illegal substances. Nothing about his arrest seemed too unusual, but when authorities ran his DNA through the system, it hit on 3 unsolved cases from Los Angeles in the 1980s.
Wait, what?
Detectives interrogated him.
I missed that, I'm not gonna lie.
For nearly 40 years, that's...
Wait, he
no
didn't get
one
caught
would
for
link his
40 years?
crimes together.
That's actually
For
crazy.
nearly 40 years, that strategy worked. Everything changed in 2012, when Little was arrested on a warrant for illegal substances.
Oh,
Nothing
brother.
about his arrest seemed too unusual, but when authorities ran his DNA through the system...
You gotta be sober
it
and
hit
doing
on
this.
3 unsolved cases from Los Angeles in the 1980s. Detectives interrogated him, but he
Does
denied
no one mean the brown ones? Yes, love, it does. Yeah, it does.
everything. Still, the DNA was undeniable. And while awaiting trial in California, investigators around the country began re-examining cold cases. His travel history matched dozens of unexplained disappearances.
Just because my man wanted
Police sketches,
a little
witness
bit of a
notes,
kick.
and morgue photographs began lining up with
Brother.
his movements. The pattern was unmistakable. Eventually, Little began to confess. Not to 3 cases, not to 10, but dozens.
Jeez.
Describing victims,
How many is a
locations, cars,
dozen? 12?
clothing, weather, even
think
the
12.
angle of streetlights decades earlier. His memory
Thank you for the heart, love. I appreciate it. Thank you.
was disturbingly precise. Over months of interviews, he admitted to taking more than 90 lives.
Shit, now,
In the end,
bad.
it turned out that Little was the
Why is there not a
biggest
document-
killer in U.S. history.
Why is there not a documentary on Samuel Little? I have never even heard of him before, and yet apparently he has the most killings in all of America. I mean, I guess you don't want to show limelight on this dude, but I don't even want to call him a dude.
Thought he was untouchable. He was wrong. It all started to fall apart for him on an August night.
The most famous serial killer there probably ever was.
When a Utah Highway Patrol officer pulled over a tan VW Beetle with its lights off, driving suspiciously through a residential area.
Because he had his lights off?
Inside was a clean-cut, charming man named Ted Bundy, along with what looked like a crime kit. Handcuffs, rope, crowbar, ice pick, and ski mask.
Yeah, that just looks dodgy.
Bundy tried to play it cool.
You can't get out of that one, Chief. I'm sorry, you can't.
Possession of burglary tools. It was then that investigators became concerned with something much more chilling than those initial charges. Bundy's tan VW Beetle matched witness descriptions from multiple missing women cases across multiple states. Then came a huge breakthrough. Enter Carol DeRanche. The year before, a man claiming to be a cop tried to take her against her will from a shopping mall parking lot. She fought like hell and escaped.
Out in public?
When police brought her in
Why would you do that out in public?
She pointed straight at Bundy.
Oh.
He was convicted of that crime in 1976 and sentenced to prison. Now the word was out on Bundy. He could now be tied to a much more serious case in Colorado through a combination of witness sightings, timeline evidence, and his travel pattern. So he was extradited to Colorado. And here's where things get really wild. While acting as his own lawyer, he literally jumped out.
His own lawyer? Wait, he was a lawyer and he was able to act as his own lawyer in his own case? Are you sure you're allowed to do that? That doesn't make any sense. Why would someone be able to use themselves as their own lawyer? That just doesn't make sense.
Window and escaped. He was free for 6 days before being recaptured. 6 months later, he did it again. Better this time. Bundy crawled through a light fixture in his cell ceiling and walked out the front door of the jail. He made it all the way to Florida.
Ain't no way.
Florida is where everything unraveled. Bundy just couldn't help himself. He attacked a sorority house in Tallahassee, but he was losing control, getting sloppy. A few weeks later, a Pensacola cop spotted a suspicious VW Bug. This time,
at least change the car.
Bundy really
it's so obvious.
Volkswagens, didn't he? When the police pulled over the car, Bundy fought, kicking, punching, trying to run. But this time his escape was less successful. He gave a fake name, but his fingerprints told the truth.
Yeah, again, fingerprints. Always comes down to the fingerprints, like the same thing in the shop.
Bundy defended himself at trial.
Just start making everyone pay with their fingerprints and it'll be so much easier to catch criminals.
The jury wasn't impressed.
Simple.
Ted Bundy's final escape was on January 24th, 1989. When he met Old Sparky at Florida State Prison. So, which of these do you think wanted to get caught? Ed Kemper, clearly. But do you think there was a part of the others that wanted to get caught to stop them and face justice for their crimes?
I think the floppy disk guy wanted to get caught 100%. I think that, yeah, 100% the floppy disk guy wanted to get caught, but it didn't go according to his plan he wanted to. Man, I actually didn't know how some of the serial killers actually got caught. That's actually crazy. What the fuck?